Okay, grab your popcorn and your holy water because this one's a doozy. Have you heard about the time I sued a priest? All right, well, here's the story. I went to Catholic school when I was in high school. It was an interesting experience for me. I was not really religious. I like to say I was brought up heathen, but lots of things have changed since then. But in this Catholic school, they had gotten a new principal. I will leave his name out. Oh, and if there are any children listening to this, you may not want them to hear. But Father David Paul, oh, I said his name. Oh, well, you won't find him. He's somewhere out in the ethers now. But Father David Paul was the principal. As soon as he arrived, I think this was my first part of my discernment coming into effect. I did not like him. I did not feel that he was at all of God. I actually thought he was pretty evil. I could kind of feel him entering a room, and we just didn't hit it off, I'll say. I was actually dating a senior in high school, and I was a freshman. And it all began with Father David Paul would walk around following us or following my boyfriend. And there'd been times where he'd push him up against the locker and say, you know, you're going to get her pregnant. You're going to get that girl pregnant. And I was shocked by that. That was one incident. He would continuously hit kids on the head with Bibles and things of that sort. So it was an interesting time at this Catholic school. So as time progressed, tensions kind of arose between him and my boyfriend at the time and me. Well, we had a field trip planned for the French group. So our French class was going on some sort of field trip that I got to dress out of uniform. So I was dressed out of uniform this specific day, and I was one of those, punk kids where I was like really trying to be cool. So I had like a bondage belt. I don't know if you know what a bondage belt is, but it's like, it was a look, whatever. So I had a whole look going. And I was in the lunchroom waiting for our bus. As I was waiting, I was talking to my friends. Father David Paul comes up to say hello. Well, actually, he was very disappointed in my dress code. And I informed him that, I got a free dress day. But of course, I'm sure I was a little sassy. Well, he wanted me to go ahead and get up and leave. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll be getting on the bus. He's like, no, actually, you're going to go home. And I was like, well, I have a, field trip I'm supposed to go on. And he's like, and it started to escalate from there. And now we're in the middle of this lunchroom. Everybody stopped talking. Now everybody is watching the principal of this high school and me get into an altercation. So he starts yelling at me that I have now gotten kicked out of school. I've now been expelled and I'm going to be going out the door. So I go to walk out the door, and he he doesn't really push me, but there's some sort of touch which I feel was, it was aggressive. And that has stuck with me. I know that there was some definite spiritual warfare going on there. But he wanted me to go out the front door. And I was just wondering why I couldn't go out the door that was right there. And being a teenager, it got worse. Father David Paul brought in, well, actually, I think the brothers kind of came to my rescue, separated us, and I had to wait in the office for my father to come. I think my mom might have been maybe in rehab at that moment. Another long story. But anyways, we were in the office. My father came, and this is where the big story started to get really crazy. So he's like, do you know what that bondage belt represents? And I was shocked that he knew what it represented. But he's like, well, it represents that you drive around on motorcycles, drink whiskey, hang out in gay men bars. And then I was like, oh, interesting. I did have a lot of homosexual friends. He's like, talking about that, he starts bringing in, oh, that I've been seen open mouth kissing with girls in the hall. So he starts going crazy with the slander. And now I know it's not really slander because it's just between my father and me and him. But I'm having anxiety attacks. Oh, it's not so Rama. And I call it a day. We're like, okay, that's it. We're going to leave and that's all we're going to say about it. Well, my mom, I think, got it in her head, like, you know what, this isn't right. My daughter deserves better. I don't know. She wanted to sue him. So we sue him. I get put on the news. I think I was wearing a beret. I don't know what happened to that. It was really bad. But I think the only thing that they got me saying on this news interview was, he called me a lesbian. Yeah, that was it. That's all. That was the soundbite. Yeah, that was good. And so we sued him, and this was the punchline of it all. After taking the money out for the lawyers, guess how much I got? $666.37. And I swear I thought I was going to hell. But time went by. I think it was about 3 months, and I got a phone call from my boyfriend's mother at the time. And she said, turn on the news. And I'm like, oh, okay. I turn on the news, and there's a mugshot. Well, I don't even know if it was a mugshot. It was just a shot of Father David Paul. He had been arrested for trying to pick up a male prostitute in the neighboring park. He fondled a young undercover cop, or tried to, and said, I like to watch the little boys. And that was validating in a way for me to see. It was a confirmation that I knew that this man was not of God. And it was heartbreaking to know that other children or other teenagers may have had instances that they did not feel comfortable around him, or maybe they even got more destroyed than what happened to me. I moved on and started to heal and deal with what I was given from that experience. But the memories of that do kind of haunt me a bit. I have let go of it, but I do know that he never went to prison. He never went to jail. Nothing ever happened to him. He kind of got brushed under the rug and just went away. And that, in some cases, happens more often than not. But I guess, the humorous part is that I, got $666. And I think I bought myself like one of those big like video cameras. So it's kind of ironic that I'm putting this on film right now. So, well, not with a big ass camera, but you get it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.